Welcome to the AI for Interior Designers podcast, where creativity meets cutting edge technology. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence and explore how it's revolutionizing the interior design industry. From AI powered design tools to the latest trends and innovations, we've got you covered. So plug in, relax, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Welcome to AI for Interior Designers podcast. P.S. This intro was written by and voiced by AI to sound like your host, Jenna Gaidusek.
Hey designers, welcome back for episode 22 of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. I am your host, Jenna Gaidusek. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see the hot mess of paint and mid-project for my office in my backdrop today. So hopefully you're just listening to the podcast and not seeing this hot mess, because I did not blur it today. And this project is really taken a while. Got a lot of work to do lately. And we had flooding last week here in Charleston. Literally my neighborhood, like kids were going in boogie boarding in the roads because there was so much water. So it's just been a couple of weeks. It's just been busy. School's starting tomorrow for my daughter. Thank God summer is over and I can get back to like a normal schedule again. So that'll be nice. But in the meantime, we get this part that's behind me right now. So yeah, just listen, because it's not pretty yet. So come back and see it in YouTube in a few weeks, maybe. Maybe I'll be done by then. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about just realistic things that you can actually do with AI. So one of the first episodes that I did, and I know we're only 22 into this, but I feel like it's been a while. So, I mean, it's been 24 weeks since I've been doing this. I missed a couple. But regardless, AI changes so quickly that I could probably do this every, 4 months and say something entirely different every time that I do. So today I just wanted to kind of go over one of my most frequently asked questions from interior designers that I get on a daily basis, which is hey, I'm trying to do this. Can I do that with AI? And it's no, that's just not even a possibility for a lot of these questions that I get. And so I figured it was just good to talk about what you can actually do and where there's so much more room for improvement before other tools are actually even usable for what we do as interior designers. So what I wanted to start with was basically just asking ChatGPT what the current AI capabilities are in real life for interior designers right now. Okay. So that's how I started planning for this topic because that's what I also have done previously in the past to see what's out there, what's available. Now, ChatGPT obviously says that it's connected to the internet in some places, right? But realistically, it's not really trained to search the internet yet. Okay, that hopefully is GPT search, which we're waiting after they kind of teased it out. But the actual ChatGPT, unless if you come to it with a live link and you're hey, go read this, and there's no other blockers on it, it's not pulling live up-to-date information for everything. Now, some things it is. I did try and prove my husband wrong when he told me that it'll tell you that it's pulling live information if you ask it. And I'm yeah, well, of course it's going to say that, but have you actually tried it? And so I asked to see what the medal count was for the previous day when we were having this conversation last week for the Olympics. And it was actually up to date. It was entirely up to date. I had Googled the answer. So for that was real. But then for a lot of the other things where I'm searching for links for things, for products, or getting lists of things like I just did with this one, it's just not pulling live and up-to-date information. It's pulling on information from a year ago, which was the last that it was trained for the model 4.0. So it's weird. I don't even know what to tell you, but sometimes it pulls live and sometimes it does not pull live. And the situation that I just had, not the medal count, but the one where I was hey, tell me about real life use cases for this in programs, it is not up to date. Some of these links don't even work and the programs are not even existent. So this is definitely old info. So I don't know, take that for what it is, but understand that ChatGPT lies. We already know that. But apparently it's lying about how actual up to date in real time it is from the internet. Um, with that being said, it is literally only a matter of time before it is 100% like live and linked to the internet. So, whew, watch out, Google. That'll be interesting to see. It'll also be interesting to see like how that kind of plays out with like paid ads and things that they could potentially be like showing first in results. When it comes to ChatGPT and OpenAI, kind of like doing a search engine type thing like Google. So I don't even know. It's going to change everything. But just know that right now, technically, it's not really pulling live information for the most part from like searching and scouring the internet. Okay. Not with ChatGPT, at least. In my personal experience, it is just not up to date in all aspects. Okay. So when I asked this list for this list, and I was like, what can we do right now with AI and interior design? It gave me a list of 10 different things, and the majority of them are total bullshit, to be totally honest with you. Like it's like, yeah, in theory, we should be able to do that, but realistically, we're not there yet. Or there's no like automation for what it's describing that we can do. There's still like, okay, well, it happens in this program, and then I got to rewrite in this program, and then I got to post in this program. Like there's no like clear cut path to doing these things with AI or like using ChatGPT at this point. Okay. I'll explain what that means a little bit more. So, the first thing on the list is space planning and layout optimization. And there's a couple different places listed on here, both of which are consumer facing, so not designers. Like one of them even I don't want to say what they are because I don't think they're legitimate for like interior designers. I think these are more for like hobbyists and people that want to play like games with interior design, is what I'm seeing on the website. One of them looks like it's more of like a space planner where you could use it as a professional, like it does renderings, it does kind of walkthroughs, but like it's very, I don't know. It's very homeowner DIY oriented on the website. So not a professional tool is what I'm saying. So what it says though for this first thing is that these two options can give you suggested layouts and you put in your room dimensions and that'll give you different furniture and elements. Like in theory, this is kind of one of the things that I get asked by interior designers a lot if this is out there and if this exists already. But realistically, like, do you want this? Like, do we want this? I don't think so. I don't think that I want this as a interior design professional. Like, I went to 4 years of school. I know a lot of you have also done more than that, and I went to school to learn how to do floor plans and think about functionality and just everything that goes into that. And for you to be able to put like room measurements and then just say like build out a floor plan, I mean, that kind of negates like the professionalism and human parts of the floor plan. So like when I get this request from designers, I'm like, well, what makes you so special, after that? Like, cause your client could literally just get that and then come up with a floor plan and take it back to you. Is that something you want? Is that a conversation you want to have? I don't think so. So I, I don't know, like this floor planner thing, it is number one on this list because I think people think that they want to have this, but like that is what one of the main differentiators between designer and decorator are, right? Or like homeowner and designer. Like you hire somebody for those plans and for those insights and expertise to make sure that it fits you and your home and your needs and your furniture, not just like let's put in the room measurements and shake it up a bit and see what we get. Like that's not it's not design. I don't know. I don't know. That's a little rant. I'm sorry. But it's not something that right now is entirely like workable or feasible. There are programs outside of these two that I'm saying here that can do this. Okay. There's floor plan professional programs that designers are using that have started to integrate AI. And I would assume that the floor plans were probably one of the first parts of this. I've heard about other designers using these programs more in like the builder space, but I have not found one that was even remotely worth looking into any further, because it was just like scattering the furniture and it made no sense in the space. And it was just like, okay, I'm just going to place it myself and come up with some different configurations. So anyway, like that's a thing. That is a thing that apparently exists in some programs right now. But it's just not like, you're not going to take a floor plan that AI made and just be like, done. It's just not. It doesn't know how humans work. Check out episode 21 if you want to if you want to see what that gap is between the robot and the designer part. Okay, so space planning, we got a ways to go with that one. You'll see it in programs. Don't get super excited unless if there is one that works. Then let me know so I can check it out. Okay. The other thing is mood board creation. And this is creating mood boards, color palettes, design boards, like concepts. And you can do this. So you can create color palette boards. Technically, it can use hex codes, whether they're accurate or not. There's a little variant there. But for the most part, if I put in like a Sherwin-Williams paint color, if I've got a hex code and a name and I upload that to ChatGPT or a hex code into Midjourney, then for the most part, I can actually get a very similar looking color. Of course, lighting will kind of play a role in that. But I can import my own colors or codes to create mood boards, or I can ask for it to create one for me, and it will do that. The caveat with this is a lot of people ask me, like, can I just have it create a design board, not a sample board? Not a paint chip or a color board. Like that's not a problem. I can do that. But the concept board that has furniture on it and furnishings and everything, yes, it can create a concept board. Okay, so you can have your mood board with color palettes, maybe inspirational image, and then you can have a concept board with actual products and like, maybe a snippet of a layout for a kitchen. It might include, it's random and you never know really what it's going to include, but you can do these concept boards with furniture on them in these generative AI programs and Dolly using ChatGPT. But the issue is that copyright restrictions are not using real products. They're not going out and they're not sourcing a sofa from a specific vendor. It is getting something in a style or color as you have told it to do, and it's putting it into the space. Copyright restrictions are not pulling real art, real textures, real textiles. So all of this is purely conceptual. Like you cannot create a design board in Midjourney, reverse image search it in Google using Lens, and then find the exact product that you're seeing there. Sometimes you're going to find things that are very similar, right? Like, I mean, there's so many sofas in the world, right? Like if it's a legitimate looking style, then you can probably reverse image search it and find that style in some capacity online. But when it comes to like unique artwork or pillow textures, that's just not going to show up in your design boards because of the restrictions. So they are purely for conceptual ideation at this point in time to create these images using AI. They are in no way something that you could literally take and make, either you or your client, an AI image and then be like, okay, I'm going to just like run this through another AI program and get a shopping list and put this in my room. That's just not the thing. That's just not a thing. It just doesn't work that way. Maybe one day. God, I hope not. But right now, like, you can't just create a conceptual image and then be like, okay, buy all this stuff. First of all, no idea if that's going to fit in your space because it's ignoring all math when you enter any math into these kind of conceptual AI imagery programs. But it's also not going to return either live links because ChatGPT is saying that it's live, but half the time I get dead links to actual products when I do this and test this. And it's just not legitimate. Like nothing is actually real. So it is a glorified Pinterest, a starting point for you to roll some ideas around and bounce some, concepts around with your client before you actually go and start sourcing products. Now, it is a good starting point, though, if you did want to use reverse image search and like actually start to find things that look like the products. That's a way that you could do it. But of course, like you need your design expertise, you need your accounts and all of that stuff. So yes and no. Like it's just like, with these design boards, mood boards, yes, you can do mood boards, you can do colors, you can do all of that, and kind of extract, hex codes in Photoshop or Canva later to actually convert them into paint colors. Or, you do a concept board and then you use it as a concept. It is not actual products. So that is a limitation right now. I honestly hope that we don't see this change. I do appreciate the fact that it's not real products because that's potentially an artist's intellectual property. I'm not just talking about like sofa styles here, but like fabrics and textiles and artwork and prints. Like somebody made that. And for it to show up in an AI image, like that just seems like a legal nightmare. So, I am happy that it's not actual products at this point in time. Also, as a design professional, that that is part of your job is to find those products. If you send a client a concept board and they're just like, oh, I got this, and reverse image searched everything, like, I mean, that's a whole other thing that's happening. But like, they probably didn't hire you to do that. And if they did, why did they pay you? I don't know. Okay. So that's where we're at with that. And that kind of comes with material and color selections. So, like paint colors, if you haven't already checked out the Sherwin-Williams expert color app, it's not the Color Snap, which is the answer that ChatGPT gave me, by the way. There's a newer app that it didn't even acknowledge in here. And the newer app uses AI tech, and basically like you can take a picture and upload it, or you can take a picture of your space and it'll acknowledge like other materials and finishes in the space. And then it'll create a color palette for you based off of what it sees. So it'll like acknowledge, okay, wallpaper or countertop, and it'll like tag them. And then it'll find corresponding Sherwin-Williams paint colors that goes with those things. You also have the visualizer too, which is the like the color snap part. But this is like a different component to the app. I'm trying to find it now on my phone and I can never remember. Color Expert is the app name, and it's by Sherwin-Williams. So that's a cool tool for you to actually like use AI to select paint colors from this particular brand right now to like make them come to life. Okay, so that's an AI tech tool that is helpful for interior designers. If you are not already using a color reader as well, to not have to just use Sherwin-Williams, if you I primarily use Sherwin-Williams, but if you want to use another deck, there's Easy Color Reader is the one that I've used for years. I know there's other ones out there too, but that's just the one that I'm going to refer because I use it. So there's an app, and basically you like put this color reader down on a surface, you tell it which decks you want to pull from, so whatever brands, and then it'll just pull similar colors to what it's seeing on the surface that you clicked it on. So for that, I use that tech all the time. Now, not technically AI, but a great tool for interior designers to use to read color in the field. And this is actually how I match my cabinets to actual paint colors. So it'll give me a color read on like specific cabinets that I have. And then I will look for trim. Sometimes I've done contrast doors. And I pulled the color from like a fawn colored cabinet. And then I found a corresponding paint color to go with it. Not always the first one that you get, but after, you get in the right spot of your deck and you can find something similar. So not AI, but definitely a tool that helps with color suggestions for interior designers. Okay, so 3D rendering and visualization. We are starting to see AI like come into these programs. Okay, so there's no like just AI renderer. Like that's not a thing. You have AI components inside of rendering programs. So my Doma has some AI stuff. It's not a tool that I am personally using right now, so I'm not going to get into those features quite yet. But I know that like SketchUp's got some AI tools, Autodesk, which would probably be the only one, honestly, if you're doing the floor plan thing. Autodesk would probably be the best place to go for something like that because it actually understands functionality of floor plans probably better than any other program, unless if it's maybe SketchUp, we'll say maybe SketchUp and maybe Chief. But The other programs that I was talking about, the ones that are more for like homeowners with the floor plan generation, it's just like not up to the caliber that the professional tools that we use will have these features. Does that make sense? Like there's going to be the homeowner side, and that's going to be like the boiled down version. And then you've got your professional tools like SketchUp and CAD, which are going to bring it when it comes to AI. So I'm already seeing, like some of these where it's like, I don't know if it's plugins or if it's like part of the program, because honestly, I don't use a lot of these just for the nature of my work. But I know that a lot of these tools for visualizations and rendering for interior designers have like, instant upscaling or like better quality to upscale your renderings with like a matter of seconds. So it just kind of like enhances the quality of that. And that's honestly what I'm seeing across like the board with a lot of these other apps, not like full service like rendering programs, but like these other apps. A lot of them are rolling out with right now, like in the past 2 weeks, built-in image upscalers and quality enhancers. So just upscaling really poor quality images. But anyway, they SketchUp, I believe, is the one that built that into their rendering program. So like, if you get a 2D image or standard like quality, then it'll upgrade it for you and bring in like all of the details very quickly, which previously took a bit to do. So not going to speak too much on it because I am not currently using it myself. So if you are using AI features in SketchUp or CAD or any of these other places, let me know because I would love to talk to you about it on the podcast. I'm just not. So please share any insight that you guys have for SketchUp, Autodesk, any of those. Chief Architect 2020, any of the things. Let me know if any of those are doing the AI stuff and if they're doing it well. I'm just curious. Okay. All right, virtual staging. So some of these programs, and honestly, two of these that it suggested, one of them does not even link like remember how I was saying earlier, like ChatGPT is like saying these things are new and is live linking to the internet. One of these is like an old link, dead, isn't even a program. So that's why I'm like, no, you're not really live linked to the internet, ChatGPT, even though you say you are. But anyway, two of these for the virtual staging. One of them is not a thing anymore unless it was acquired by somebody else. And then the other one, Decor Matters. I have never personally used that one, but it says that virtual staging is in here. This is the one that also has games in it. So this one is not really like for designers, I would say. It looks like it's for like gaming, like play interior design apps. So that's what this recommendation was for virtual staging. Now, some of these stable diffusion programs can do virtual staging. So virtual staging is not new, right? Like we've seen it with these like fast apps for a long time, like a lot of them just look fake when you put this stuff in there, but the room is furnished. I guess there's a client for everything, depending on the budget. So those have existed, but now we're seeing a lot more of these stable diffusion based programs also incorporating the like have a picture of your empty room and then like tell us the style and we will virtually stage it. So we're starting to see this come into play now with more programs than what it previously was, which is the virtual staging stuff. Okay, so that's the thing that is legit. It'll only get better as we go. Client collaboration and feedback. Okay, so here is one of the things that ChatGPT said. So AI-driven platforms enable better collaboration and allowing clients to make real-time adjustments to designs, providing instant feedback, and offering AI-driven suggestions that improve the design process. What are you talking about? That's the thing. So, okay, this literally comes up every time I ask it this, and I don't know when any programs that do this right now. So like, okay, AI driven programs to enable better collaboration by allowing clients to make real-time adjustments to designs. So you're telling me that you are letting your clients do real-time adjustments in your design? How are you doing that? And then providing instant feedback and then AI driven suggestions. So let's say they are for instance, in a design board, they've told you yay or nay to a product. We'll say that that's the real-time adjustment, right? They give their feedback in the portal. Then you have an AI program that's just immediately giving suggestions for backup plans for those products that they just said that they didn't want. I mean, great. That would be awesome. So that instantly, if they denied something, I could just be like, oh, well, here's 3 other suggestions that I had on the back end, but didn't share with you because I really wanted you to pick number 1. So that would be, first of all, awesome. If any of these programs are listening right now. But I don't think that exists. Like, I don't think that that is yet. I don't think that they are really taking these AI analytics and like personalizations and things into these softwares that we're using. There is AI infused in different places, but it's in project management softwares, but it's primarily in the like productivity and onboarding phases. So like starting new projects or organizing projects or like tagging features, you know, like that's kind of where all these programs in general, like, you know, any program really is starting to integrate AI right now. It's little productivity tasks that it can assist with for you to do them faster or more efficient. And so right now we're starting to see that trickle into our project management programs, but in no way is it automating like anything that it didn't already do, or taking consideration into like real-time updates and then presenting something like right away using AI features to like be like, okay, well, you don't like that one, so here's another one. I do think there's programs out there that are being built right now that are consumer facing that are probably doing something like this in a different capacity than what we would do as designers. But realistically, there is no like one-stop shop that I'm aware of. And if I'm wrong, please let me know because I'd love to have you on here and talk about it. But there's no project management program that is real time, like taking the wheel and automating things for you. Even if you were to, you know, create something in ChatGPT, and I think this is where a lot of people get stuck. So let me just hone in on this for a second. But let's say you create like a blog post in ChatGPT or I don't know, a proposal in ChatGPT. Okay. There's no way for you to just be like, okay, or an email. There's no way for you to just be like, okay, send that to my client now from ChatGPT. Not yet. Okay. That's where like there's this thing called API, and API is technically what like connects one website to talk to another website on the back end. Okay. So there's no like connectivity between ChatGPT and your email. Now, technically, my motion calendar does have a connection where I can take an email. I haven't done this yet, but I can take an email from my Gmail and send it to my calendar, and it will then put it on my calendar based off of what it reads in my email as like an event or a task that I need to do. But I need to email it to my calendar. So there's no way for me to be like, okay, ChatGPT, write this email. Okay, ChatGPT, send this email. It's not connected to anything. Does that make sense? Like, this is one of my major questions that I get in most of my trainings. And it's, you know, how does one thing get from ChatGPT to the place that I want to send it to? And the answer is you. You get it there. Because right now, unless if you have an API connected, and it totally depends on the program, but there's not a lot, I would say right now, for your everyday tools as a designer that you can like connect to ChatGPT. Okay. So yes, there's ways to do things within certain programs where you can automate. I think a lot of these social media scheduling programs are starting to do this as well, where it's like, you know, a one-stop shop for, you know, use AI to create your captions or images or whatever that might be, and then use AI to create the alt text and the hashtags. Something I've been doing in ChatGPT for months now, but now a lot of these social media programs are infusing that into their social media tools. So it's all AI infused inside, and you don't need to like do it in ChatGPT and then schedule it and then put it on social media, or you don't need to do it in ChatGPT and then, you know, move it over to social media and then post it. Like, Now it's all in one scheduling program where you can get your hashtags, build your description and your alt text, and then schedule it to post at a certain time. Now that's all built into that software. Okay. So if you are just using ChatGPT to do these things, there's no like connecting factor, if that makes sense. It's a lot of just copy, paste, and then revise at this point. Okay, so client collaboration and feedback was on here. I just talked about that one, but it's not making real-time updates. Okay. The other thing, the component that I wanted to talk about with that one was this number 9. I'm jumping around a little bit, but personalization of designs. AI can analyze a client's preferences and past behavior to suggest highly personalized design solutions and make the process more tailored and efficient. Okay, so I've known about programs and softwares that have been building this literally since like the pandemic. Like I've talked to a few of these companies before AI was everywhere. And so this trend, the like forecasting of personalization designs is not new. It is coming, and it is something that you guys definitely need to be aware about, because I think that there's going to be a lot of tech companies that try and just cut out the designer and say, hey, tell us about your design style, or let us like, read your algorithms for what you like, and then we will give you a design based off of your algorithms and, upload your room or something like that, and then we'll just give it to you. That is most likely going to be on the market. Like, let's just be honest about it. I've known that they've been building these types of things for years, and who has a bigger market? Consumers and DIY or interior designers? Definitely DIY market. So why would the tech companies build this for designers? They are going to go direct to market, and then they're going to try and sell and make money off all those products that they're doing, that they're recommending based off of the personalization that the AI is reading. So that's somewhat terrifying to know that that is a option that, this is telling me is a good thing for interior designers, and that this is a thing that exists right now for interior designers. But realistically, if it does, it is not its fullest, it in no way is it like functioning and ready for use, or else we would be seeing it everywhere. But it is something that it's going to create this whole other market of people if that goes live outside of the design industry. So watch out for that one, guys. That is more of like personalization, AI analytics to create personalized results and designs. I mean, it is kind of like the direction that we're going, and not a lot of things in AI scare me. Things like alarm me. Things definitely make me want to keep an eye on it and be a realist about like what could potentially happen here. But this directly with our industry, this could be harmful, being able to analyze people and then immediately give them results for design concepts with shoppable boards. If that gets on a larger scale, that's going to be interesting to see. So anyway, we got a little bit of time before that happens. It's not like anywhere in the mainstream right now, and I think that it's got a bit to go. Okay, but sustainability is also on here. So like if you ever wanted to run, ideas, questions about environmental impacts, suggested eco-friendly alternatives, and just like creating more sustainable spaces, AI can help you with that now. Okay, so ChatGPT, Perplexity, a lot of these other things can help you with that research, and it can help you to, just do more sustainable designs as you're designing them. Okay, let me make sure I got everything on this list that it gave me that I wanted to talk about. Client Lab. So trend analysis and forecasting. If you upload the right information, it can definitely help you. With it not being technically like live on the internet, I wouldn't trust any of the things that it's saying, because for projections at least, because this is still a year old with the information that it's pulling from. And then if I were to search the trend question in like Perplexity instead of Google, where it is pulling and sourcing live links, a lot of those are like recaps for 2025 from people's blogs or videos. So that's where it's pulling all of that information, and not just like a general AI consensus, which is what ChatGPT is doing. It's basically like, okay, here's a million answers to that question. Let's take the average answer and then put it in there. So I don't know that it's going to be the most up to date and actually forecasty if you ask for trend analysis without links to actual articles about current trends in ChatGPT. But that'll all change pretty soon anyway when we have search. So just be aware that it may or may not be actual live and up to date information through ChatGPT. Okay. So I hope that helps you guys, because like there's a lot of misinformation out there as to like how and what you can actually do with AI right now. I think people assume that the larger parts of what we do as an interior designer, like the floor plans or like the concept boards or the sourcing, that is all AI generated right now and can help you. And realistically, it just can't. You can't create renderings based off text yet that are to scale or accurate in any way. That's purely conceptual imagery. That is AI generative text to image. You can do video. I mean, you could do video type stuff. Still weird, very weird, but it's an option. But there's just so many limitations right now that, these questions that I get, I hope that like you see that you are very much still needed and that you have a place here in this industry. And there's things that can really, really help you with AI to streamline the back end of your business, marketing, blogging, SEO, like writing emails, writing whatever for productivity on the back end. But when it comes to like actual professional design work, we are nowhere near what we need it to be for you to not have a job anymore. Okay. That thing with the personalized designs and the algorithms, that's interesting, something to keep an eye on. Nowhere near it now, but if we can harness it as a tool, that would be awesome. I don't think it's going to go down that way though. Too much money to be made elsewhere. So, anyway, that's what I got. I hope that was helpful for you. If you are using any of these other tools that I mentioned today that like I just don't, I want to hear from you. I want to know about them. And I know that everybody else here wants to hear about them too. So contact me, Jenna at AIforinteriordesigners.com. I have a form that you can fill out, and you can tell me and everybody else about them a little bit more too. So back to school tomorrow for my daughter, and hopefully life will kind of get a little bit more back to normal. Now that summer's over. I've been working on something really big this summer for you guys, keeping it very hush hush. I'm about to change kind of everything that I've been doing. It's a long time in the making. When I started this company and training in November last year, 2023, AI, I focused on Midjourney. That was the first class that I taught. That was the main thing at the time that designers wanted to learn about. But since then, every day I've learned something new or a new technique or, whatever it is with the advances in AI technology and in the interior design space, that there's just so much more information that I want to be sharing with you guys. And I have created a different way to do that, so that it's not, log into a class and then, like go through the modules. It's a little bit more organic than that, and will keep you very much up to date with all the latest and greatest tips for your business and things that you can like literally watch and then implement. That is the goal. Okay. So summer camp is ending tomorrow, and then this guy will be coming out soon. So stay tuned. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week for the next episode of AI for Interior Designers podcast. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tune in next week for more AI tips for your design business. See you next time.